welcome to today's episode.
In between words.
We are just four friends hanging out and talking about how languages mix every day. And we are not here to give you like a dictionary definition or anything like that. We just want to share what it feels like to live between languages as we are linguistic students. So, my name is Ariana.
My name is Aurora.
My name is Abril.
My name is Genesis.
Okay, so have you ever caught yourself switching languages in the middle of a sentence without even like realizing it, or use a word in another language because it just like fit or maybe feels better? That's exactly what we're diving into today.
In today's episode, how we really speak.
Okay, so those small everyday moments where our languages blend together naturally.
Well, now that you mention, I always sometimes I switch my language or sometimes I mix. For example, Jones and Themistocles says that mix is when you do like spontaneously, and switching is when you do like intentionally. For example, at the school, I remember when I was in middle school, my teacher says like, if you don't know a word, you can say like, teacher, how do you say, I don't know, me puedo parar or something like that. I think that's like switching because it's intentionally. My teacher said like, you can say this if you don't know this word. And for example, mixing is when I'm with my friends. We are always like playing, like and saying like, I don't know. We always use certain words like, I don't know, random or maybe cringe, or we have a word now that is low key when we want to say like shh, like discreto, you know. We are something when we want to hang out, but now we're all the group of friends. When we want to hang out, just four of members of the group, we say like, vamos a salir pero low key. So we are mixing the English. And also I have another example. I like Korean culture and everything, and I was like, I'm trans Korean. It's a joke. And when we, I don't know, when we want to, I don't know, when we are, I don't know, eating, we started to say like words in Korean, like 감사합니다 or something like that. So we are like mixing like spontaneously, but it's funny. And when we do this, I realize that we are doing this mixing or switching my language with another one. So it happens to me a lot.
I totally relate to that. And I think we all have that one moment when we realize we don't actually choose which language comes out. I think it just happens naturally.
Yeah, it's something that we do in mathematics. And sometimes I only notice later and think like, what? Did I really say that in English?
Yes, I mean, sometimes when I talk with family from the USA, well, we always end up mixing languages without even thinking, because maybe we are talking in Spanish and they say some words in English. So do I, because like in the mood with all these people that know two languages, and even if I don't speak English every day, all the time, when I am with them, I like blend my way of talking. So I think that is not about being confused. It is about using everything you have to communicate something or with the other. So switching between languages helps me even like to express myself better, especially when one word in English or in Spanish doesn't quite capture what I want to say or mean.
And do you all feel weird when someone corrects you for that?
Maybe sometimes because it's well when I am with my family, I don't feel that way, but maybe when I am like with other friends that maybe they don't speak English, or I don't have friends that only speak English and not Spanish, but in this context, maybe I will feel weird if they correct me.
I think we feel more like judge. For example, and the other day I watched a video from Wendy Guevara that he was talking with in La Casa de los Famosos with Apio, and he mentioned some like dress code or some a word in English, and Wendy says like, "Ay, hablan español," and I think Apio feel judged more than insecure. It's more like feel judged.
Yes, and I know that I see this kind of language mixing and switching everywhere in all media. For example, on social media, you can see it in memes and at work, or even just texting your friends on WhatsApp. Like, for example, someone on Twitter might say, feeling so cansado today. Or someone in an instant story might post, like, I want a matcha ASAP, which for the ones that don't know, it's an acronym for as soon as possible.
Mhm.
And you can also see it in your group chats in WhatsApp when your friends combine English with Spanish and emojis within the same message. And I think this is amazing because nobody thinks twice about it because it has become something so common. Like you even look cooler when you combine English with Spanish. And I think it's funny because society expects us to keep languages separate, but honestly, no one really does that, or well, at least younger generations, and it just feels natural to mix them. And for me, when I can speak freely like that, I feel more connected to both of my worlds because I just speak English and Spanish.
Yeah, and sometimes you even change your language depending on who is going to watch your story, right?
Exactly. Like if I know my uncle follows me on Insta, I just post in Spanish. But if I post in my close friends, I switch languages.
Yeah. I remember when I was teaching a bilingual classroom a few months ago, there was this student who spoke English and Spanish since she was like 1 years old. And at first, some teacher will correct her right away to stick to one language if only she only have to speak English or only have to speak Spanish, depending on the class. But because they thought it will help her to learn faster. But honestly, that would just make her more nervous and quiet. After a while, I decided to let her express herself however she felt comfortable, even if that means switching languages in the middle of a sentence. And sometimes she started feeling confidence and started to grow. And she began to participate more and also asking more questions, and I would help her classmates translate or explain difficult words. It was like she finally had permission to use all her voice, all her ideas, not limiting herself. That experience really opened my eyes and made me see how creative and intelligent people can be when they're allowed to use all their linguistic resources. In this case, the kid feel more confident to open. She don't have to restrict herself on their feelings or their ideas. Just language isn't about being lazy or confused. It's more like being flexible and resourceful. Of course, not everyone understands that, and some people still judge or think mixing language is incorrect. But I learned that sometimes some moments are great opportunities to educate others and about how language actually works in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is a good point. I don't know if you saw on TikTok this TikToker. She's called We Travel. She traveled a lot her life, traveling, so they change her location a lot of times. So she has a daughter, and she teach her in English, in Spanish and English, because her dad only speak English. So the kid is Gaia, and she at 4 years old, I think she can understand English and Spanish, and also switching between languages. And maybe if someone asks her something in Spanish, she answer in English, and vice versa. And she's very young, so I feel like they gave her the space to communicate and to feel comfortable about speaking and full language or more, and switching languages. I remember that from your experience. So I think that is amazing how, like, giving kids or students in your case space to use all their languages can completely change how they learn. What do you think?
Yeah, and once you stop worrying about speaking perfectly, you actually speak more.
Yeah, exactly. Freedom first and grammar later.
So I'm curious. When you're emotional, I don't know who wants to answer. So when you're emotional, which language do you reach for first? English or Spanish?
When I'm emotional, Spanish, and when I'm angry, also I use Spanish because I use the language that I feel more confident with. So I use Spanish. And for example, I follow a group of, I think there are six women that are singers, and one of they it's a Latina. So when she started being angry or emotional, she started to speak in Spanish, and all the members are like, she's angry, because I don't know, when I want to express myself, I express more better in my language, so I use my own language, that is Spanish. I don't know the others.
Um, when I feel specifically embarrassed, I use a specific word, like I say, me da cringe, because I think that word better expresses that feeling. And I think you can translate that in Spanish, and I think we have a word, maybe me da vergüenza, but I think cringe like like involves the whole meaning of being like, oh, like secondhand embarrassment.
I prefer or I feel more confident in Spanish. And when I am upset or sad, I use Spanish. But in my daily life, I like to mix languages. Some people look at you like, what did you say? Because I say like, excuse me, ¿qué dijiste? And some sentences like that. But honestly, that's where the creative happens. I've noticed that when I mix languages, especially with friends who are bilingual, it feels like communicating on another level. There's this share of understanding that goes beyond grammar. For instance, I remember once during a meeting at work, I said, let's pause un momento to think about it. And my coworkers just not. Nobody cared that I switched mid sentence because all of us were bilingual. But that kind of moments of is like you let yourself to express and don't feel judged because the other people does too. And is but if I had tried to keep everything in one language, sorry, it might be sound more formal or even distant at work.
Yes, I mean, it is not random. I think that reflects how the culture, um, and maybe the identity and how we connect with others. For example, with my group of friends, when I feel like sassy maybe, or in a playful mood, I speak a lot of English, or I say like certain words in English that maybe in Spanish are like so scandalous that maybe in English doesn't have the same like meaning, or maybe the tone or something like that. So yes, I think that this type of speaking with others is reflects the culture and also the identity and mm, yes, all these things.
Yeah, I think it happens everywhere, like at home, at with your classmates. I don't know, I don't know, and it. I think it's happened because sometimes we don't find the correct word to use, and we use another one in another language. And yeah, I think that's why it happens.
Okay, so before we wrap up, what's one phrase or expression in which you combine or mix English with Spanish?
Mm.
I think that cringe is the most like I think that for of us say that a lot. Low key also. I think that we are so like influenced by the social media. So if I saw a TikTok and I like this word or how they use, I will use in my day life and also my friends because I'm going to speak in that way to them.
Yes. I think also outfit, it's a word that we use, I think, every day, and we don't realize, but I think I always use outfit, or maybe, I don't know, another word. It could be um random too.
I always remember a TikTok from I edit from Giselle and the Angel Victoria's Secret
Oh,
that
yeah.
is on with a miniskirt. Is just I don't think so. So with everything, I every time someone asks me something or wants me to do something, I mean like, disculpa, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's all. So thanks for joining us today. We hope you notice your own language habits in everyday life and see mixing languages not as a mistake, because it is not, but as a creative, meaningful way to communicate. So see you next time. So
Bye.
goodbye.
Bye
The loudest in
bye.
the room. Baby, get the microphone, put it on speaker. I said I can't hear you, so you need to speak up. Put that shit on.